Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me for another video. This is FPL Game Week 21 tips and tricks. Obviously, I'm like obsessed with Fantasy Premier League. I know that you guys are too if you're watching this video. So thanks so much for tuning in. Feel free to drop your questions below or to the side. I always do that. And I'm going to try to go through my suggestions first and hopefully share my screen and hope that that works this time. And then I'll go through all of the questions as well. So let's see if I can share my screen here. Okay, cool. So I think that you guys should be seeing it right now. Yeah, I'm just going to pop back in and make sure that you guys can see my screen here. If I go like this, you can see it. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you guys can see my screen. So I know that I had this one last week, but I really love Joao Cancelo as an option for this game week. Man City are just playing so incredibly well. He's still a pretty cheap option, so I'd get him now because his price is going up. I already have Diaz and Stones in my team, so I think I might transfer Diaz for Cancelo, but I have some other things that I need to take care of right now. But something that I want to point out to you guys, he has 9 clean sheets so far, but 4 of them are in the last 5 games. And then we can see here that his average points per game actually shot up from 6, which was already really good, to 7.8. So I think that he's an absolutely great buy. Man City are playing really well. They also have favorable fixtures. So I think that Cancelo should be like a very good option for you guys. Next, I also want to get Souček in my team. He's an incredible option for low cost for the value that you get for him. He's owned by 18.5% of players, so that differential is decreasing a bit, but still for this price, he's a really good option. I'm honestly considering transferring out Mohamed Salah for Souček and taking a -4. So if you guys think that I should do that, let me know. Or if you think that I shouldn't do it, let me know, because I'm honestly considering it. I had to transfer out Harry Kane this game week because he got injured, and I was annoyed about that because he was like one of my only really reliable strikers. I feel like the strikers just aren't playing well. So let me know if you think that I should transfer in Souček for Mohamed Salah. I'm honestly really considering. And West Ham played Liverpool this week as well, so I'm like, I don't know which way it's going to go. Could be risky. Should I just wait? I don't know. But he has 7 goals and 1 assist so far in the league already. But 3 of those goals have come in the last 5 games, which is really impressive. And again, we can see that his average points per game have shot up to 6.6. The next one that I wanted to talk about is Saka from Arsenal. He's another really good option that's a pretty low cost for your midfield, owned by just over 11% of teams. And we can see again that his goals and assists in the last 5 games is a large percentage of his total, which means that he's playing incredibly well recently. Arsenal have actually totally picked up their form, and with that, so has Saka. We can see that he was averaging just 4.5 points per game, and that's shot up. It's almost double to 7.8 points. So he could be another good option if you're looking for somebody who's a cheaper option in your midfield. I think that Saka could potentially be a very good option as well. And finally, the last one that I wanted to talk about here, Ilkay Gundogan. Oh man, I transferred him into my team last week. I'm so happy that I did, but I had him at the captain at the very last second, and then I changed it to vice captain because I was like, oh my god, it's like so risky. And then he actually did very well. He scored 2 goals. He's 5.7, so he's an incredible replacement, especially if you had KDB and he was injured, like half the price, owned by about 15% of players. But look at these stats. He scored 7 goals in the league, but 5 are from the last 5 games. So he's on fire right now. On fire. And the points per game, he was averaging just over 6. Now he's averaging almost 9 points per game in the last 5 games. So really, this is my top recommendation. Definitely get him in your team if you haven't done so already. And yeah, so now I'm going to go back to the stream here. Okay, I'm going to catch up on everything that I missed now. Yeah, so like I said, Suchek really is a great one. I'll be showing my team, like I could show you guys my team in a little bit as we go through like the questions and stuff. Thoughts on the Burnley game? I wouldn't recommend transferring in any Chelsea players right now because we really don't know who's going to be starting, and we saw that Tuchel really likes to rotate his teams, and it could be like another Pep type of situation where we don't know which City players are going to be starting each week. So for now, I would stay away from any Chelsea players. I think that is pretty risky because we don't know who's starting one, but we also don't know how the team is going to play because they just haven't been playing well recently. So for those reasons, I would just stay away from Chelsea players. The only one maybe you want to think about is Chilwell, but even he isn't immune to it. Like we saw that he got subbed off in the last game, and he was like even surprised himself that he got subbed off. So I just would stay away from Chelsea fixtures. No, I don't know anything about the double game week. I can try to look into it for next week. I have Barnes as well, so I was thinking about doing Barnes and Souček. Leicester play Leeds, which I think is a very favorable fixture. So if you're going just for this week, Barnes I think is very good option because West Ham do play Liverpool, and that is going to be a tougher fixture for them. But I think that they're both really good, cheap options. Watkins or Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I was going back and forth with this one too. I ended up picking Dominic Calvert-Lewin just because I felt like he had been more consistent over the entirety of the league so far, but Watkins is like more consistent recently. So I really don't know. I picked Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but I think I want to try to get Watkins in my team for next week. Because I had Harry Kane and Patrick Bamford up front, and then I was going to transfer out Bamford, and then I had to transfer out Harry Kane because he got injured. So yeah. Hello, thanks for joining. I think Jamie Vardy's still injured, so definitely don't go for him. So if you're between the two of them, then go for Ings. Hello, thank you for joining. Yeah, this is a great question. Do you think it's a good idea to double up on City defenders? I personally do. I have both Stones and Diaz in my team. City are just playing so well, and they're keeping a lot of clean sheets. I think they have like 4 in their last 5 games or something like that. Or, yeah, I think it's 4 in their last 5. So it's a risk, right? Because if you have too many players from one team, like if the team doesn't play well, then you don't get as many points for that week. But I think recently City have just been playing so well that it makes sense to double up on their defenders. And the only other teams that are really keeping clean sheets right now, like West Ham is doing pretty well. I have Cresswell in my team. Southampton has a decent amount of clean sheets as well. Leicester have been playing well, but they don't usually tend to keep as many clean sheets. Maybe Chelsea will start to keep clean sheets too. How do you share your screen? Yeah, I practiced beforehand because I was like so nervous about it. This is a good question. Do you think Laporte will replace Diaz or Stones now that he's fit? I don't know. Like, that's a really good question, but I just feel like the two of them have been performing so well together that I would be surprised if he just got back into the team again. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But with Pep, I feel like you really never know. So maybe that's why it could be a good idea to have like Stones and Cancelo, because I think Cancelo has that spot nailed down. Yeah, I wouldn't take -4 to do that. I know. I'm like going back and forth. I don't think I'm gonna do it either. But Mohamed Salah has now blanked in 6 consecutive game weeks. 6. He's 12.5 pounds, and he has not gotten a goal or assist in 6 game weeks. So he's in terrible form. I just feel like for the amount of money that he costs, he should be performing week in and week out, and he's not. But there's just like not that many options. Like all of the like higher players I feel like are injured, like the higher cost players I feel like are injured. Vardy's injured, Kane is now injured, Kevin De Bruyne is injured. Like I'm staying away from anybody in Chelsea as well. So I don't, there's like not that many options, but I don't know. I'm like annoyed that he costs so much and isn't performing. And Suchek just scored 2 goals this past game week. Yeah, I would pick Gundogan over Suchek as well. But I'm contemplating having both. I already have Gundogan in my team. Yeah, and this makes sense. He had a really good game last week, and I think he was kind of going under the radar. So I think I had a week where like nobody really knew about him before people started transferring him in. But he's definitely such a good option. For a Kane replacement, really don't have many options. I feel like I don't feel like there's many strikers that have formed. I went for Dominic Calvert-Lewin because he's playing Newcastle and he actually has a really good record against Newcastle. And I thought that Everton will probably beat Newcastle as well. They haven't been in good form. Jamie Vardy's out. Ollie Watkins is a good like cheaper option. He's has like 2 goals in his past 2 games, I think. So he could be a good option as well. I have Patrick Bamford, but I'm wanting to transfer him out. He just hasn't been performing as much. So I'm trying to think if there's like any other strikers. You could also go for Callum Wilson, but I don't think that he's performing as well either. Like I really feel like strikers are very limited. The only one I was very happy with was Harry Kane. So you might even want to try to go to like a 4-4-5-1 system where you just have like one striker, because I really don't think that there's that many options. Don't pick any Chelsea players. Just stay away. Stay away from Chelsea players right now. Honestly, it's not worth the risk because we don't know who's going to be starting. It could be Pulisic or it could be Joe. It could be Ziyech, or we don't know. Maybe Werner starts, maybe he doesn't. And not only that, they're not really in good form. Like they're hopefully going to get in good form in the next coming days, but we just don't know. So until we can see a more consistent lineup with the Chelsea players, I would really stay away from the Chelsea players for now. As much as it hurts me, because I would love to have Chelsea players in my team. We just like nobody's scoring really, nobody's assisting. It's going to take a couple of weeks, I think, before I transfer any Chelsea player in. Yeah, Gundogan is in incredible form and he's so cheap. It's like such a good option, honestly. I lost my spot. I think, is this Hudson-Odoi? Because if it is, like, he is a good option, I agree. But again, we don't know 100% if he's going to be starting week in and week out, and that's what I try to look for in my team selection. Yeah, I agree that Joel's lost his form, so that's why I said it's like I wouldn't pick any Chelsea players, really. Yeah, the problem is like as much as we're like love Chelsea, like we just don't know who's starting. Like Aspilicueta has been starting a couple of games. Reece I think is going to start, but he's not really getting like any assists either. Chelsea aren't keeping clean sheets. Like, well, we just kept one, but who knows like if that's going to continue. It's just so up in the air, so I would just stay away from it. Oh yeah, I thought about Antonio as well. Maybe I'll transfer Bamford for him. I totally forgot about him. I don't know. I don't. Should I transfer out Bamford and take a -4? You guys, should I do it? Like Leeds played Leicester, so that's why I was considering it. I was thinking like, oh my god, so like he's, I don't think he's going to score in that game. But then I was thinking if I transfer him out, he's probably going to score like a crazy goal like he did against us. So I don't know. Let me know in the comment section if you think that I should transfer Bamford out for Ollie Watkins or Antonio and take a -4. I don't know. I don't know if I should like take the -4 because I don't know if they're necessarily going to make up those points. West Ham play Liverpool as well, so it's not going to be an easy game. How are you doing in your mini leagues? I'm like 5th or 6th. I was doing really well. I was 2nd at one point, not out of many people, like out of 14 or something. But then my teams just haven't been performing. Like I have really good players, but they just haven't been performing. So it's been frustrating. That's on the Liverpool Tottenham game. Yeah, I was actually surprised that there weren't more goals. Like I really thought that there would be more. I was annoyed that the last goal got canceled or ruled. I think there was like handball in the build-up, but I was like, damn. Yeah, but it's unfortunate because I had Harry Kane in my team and now he's not playing, but it could be good from a Chelsea perspective because Chelsea do play Tottenham next week, and it seems Harry Kane is going to be unavailable for that game. So bad for my FPL team, but good for Chelsea. So I guess I'm willing to take it. Yeah, so we have a couple of options for Kane. We mentioned Antonio earlier, Ollie Watkins as well, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. There's a couple of options, but yeah, only a couple really. I don't find a lot of strikers that are in form. This is a question I ask myself. Like, is it time to give up on Bamford and go for Antonio? I just don't know if I'm willing to take the -4. Yeah, that's a problem with fantasy, man. Like, I had so many Chelsea players. I had like 3 Chelsea players to start with. I had Pulisic, who was injured at the start of the season, and I thought that he would be fit. I had Werner and Havertz, and none of them performed. I had Chilwell and Zuma for a bit, and that was going pretty well until Chelsea started losing. But I would recommend selling Werner. Like, it's just week after week, he's blanking. He hasn't scored in so many weeks. Like, how many games has it been since he scored? So it's just not worth it, man. It's not worth it. Try to get your points elsewhere. Once Timo starts scoring, like once he maybe scores like 2 games in a row or something, then maybe think about transferring him back in. But right now he's so expensive. You could get so many other players that are better quality to value ratio and that are actually scoring goals or assisting. Yeah, yeah. I thankfully had transferred him out by that time, but I totally feel, yeah, that's so unfortunate. Should I keep Chilwell? I would get rid of Chilwell, honestly. He's pretty expensive for a defender. Like I said, you can get Cancelo, who's a little bit cheaper. City are keeping clean sheets, and he's actually getting goals and assists. So I would get rid of Chilwell. I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, a lot of people are saying transfer Antonio in. Should I do it, you guys? Should I do it? I don't know. Should I take the -4 and transfer? The thing is, he's playing Liverpool, right? He's playing Liverpool, so I don't know if I'm willing to like take that risk. But then Bamford's playing Leicester anyway, so it's like, well, if I transfer him out, then you guys should all transfer Bamford in because you know he's going to score. Yeah, I think Foden's still a good option as well, but right now Gundogan is like a little bit better. But if for whatever reason you already have Gundogan or you want to get Foden in as well, I think that he's a good option. The only thing is I'm not 100% sure like if he's playing every single game, but he is getting goals and assists, so I think that he could be a good option. How long is Kane out? I just brought him in and he gets injured, so I bench him or remove him from my squad. He has a double ankle injury. It just happened yesterday, so I don't know how long it's going to be, but I think I read that it was like a couple of weeks at least. So since he's so expensive, I think he's too expensive to be like staying on your bench for that long. So I would personally just take the -4, transfer him out, then whenever he's fit again, transfer him back in. Who to bench, Foden or Antonio? That's a good one. Who else do you have in your team? Like, who are you benching them for? I think that's the real question, right? So let me know, and then we can decide. I don't, but Jam from the Chelsea Social has one, and you can just tweet him, and he can share it with you guys because that's one of the leagues that I'm in. All right. Masi says, don't take the hit, but you should transfer in Antonio ahead of Watkins. Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I'll do that next week. I don't know. I have like the Kane thing really messed me up because I wasn't planning on having to transfer him out. Yeah, don't take the -4. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for the advice. Thank you so much. I have like just under 1,100. I think like 1080, maybe something like that. I don't really pay attention to it. My problem was that at the beginning of the season, I literally never played Fantasy Premier League, and so I like had a really bad team, and so I spent like so much time trying to fix it. And so now my team is doing better. It was doing really well for a while, and then now like I have Bruno Fernandes. He hasn't been performing. I have Salah, who I think I'm going to transfer out because he hasn't been performing. I had like Kevin De Bruyne. He got in and out, and he got injured. So I just have like kind of bad luck with these things, but hopefully they get back onto good form too soon. Time to sub out Bamford. Yeah, if you can, I would sub him out because he hasn't been performing in the past couple of game weeks. So I definitely wouldn't. Differential, Richarlison. That's an interesting one, actually. I have like other players who I rate a little bit higher than Richarlison in my team. Like my differential, it was Gundogan, but I think everybody's buying him now. I have Harvey Barnes as well. I think he could be a good differential. And yeah, those are my two like lower cost options that I have as differentials. I'm taking a gamble on Captaincy Mount against Burnley. Risky. Yeah, that is risky, man. I mean, I hope it pays off for you, but who knows if he's even going to start. That's the thing that I'm worried about. And Mount doesn't really score that many goals. Like, I don't know. That's risky. I probably would pick somebody else. Is it worth getting Arsenal defenders? They have an excellent defensive record. Let me just look up like Arsenal's upcoming fixtures. Let's see. So Arsenal play Manchester United, then they play Wolves. Wolves aren't playing that well, as we've seen. They're really not scoring without Raul Jimenez. Aston Villa, and then Leeds. I probably wouldn't do it for this game week just because they play Manchester United, and I think that they'll probably concede against Manchester United, but maybe for the next game week. But I would honestly prioritize getting some City defenders in if you can, because they're pretty cheap. Like John Stones was only he was 5.1 when I bought him. Maybe he's gone up a little bit since then, but like City are playing so much, like so good, and they're keeping so many clean sheets as well, and their fixtures are very favorable. Yeah, that's the thing. If West Ham weren't playing Liverpool, I'd say it'd be worth to take the risk. But I think since they're playing Liverpool, I'm just going to leave it, because if I take a -4 hit, then I need to get like at least 4 points just to break even, which means that they need to get an assist at least. So it's pretty risky, I think. Probably just leave it for now, and then maybe next week I'll do like 2 transfers. I'll see how Salah performs this week, and if he doesn't perform, I'm taking him out of my team because I've had enough of him. I've been waiting and waiting. And well, I had transferred him out for De Bruyne. I was so happy about it. And then De Bruyne got injured. So imagine if you sold Werner and he proceeded to go on a goal spree. Yeah, I know. That's kind of the risk with anybody that you sell, really. Like, that always happens to me, that I buy somebody who's scoring and then they just stop scoring, or I sell somebody and then they start scoring goals. It actually happened to me when Werner scored his brace. I had just transferred him out and then he scored his brace. But yeah, I don't know. We didn't even see him start last week. I think he will be starting under Tuchel, but we're just not sure, right? Like, Tammy Abraham is in much better form than Timo Werner personally, so I would transfer him out and just wait until he starts playing a little bit better. I just think he's so expensive for the price when he's not performing, so I would rather wait for that. A word or two about Thomas Tuchel. Honestly, I have a preview coming out tomorrow, so I'll be speaking about him then. I'm not going to get into it on the fantasy video, but make sure to tune into that one. It will be at 3 p.m. UK time, hopefully. Yeah, Saka could be a really good option. Manchester United, they're playing well, but I think that they do have like some goals to concede in them, and Saka is in really great form. So if you have him, I definitely would get him. Maybe wait a week if you want to wait until after they play Manchester United. I think a lot of people have to deal with that Kane thing as well. Happy to see Werner perform well on the pitch and on my FPL team. Yeah. basically. Alerta, you can get up. It's okay. Don't worry. Yes, disco. Guys, my husband came into the room and he's like so scared about making noise that he's been crawling on the floor to get his headphones. Just go, it's fine. So he goes, I feel so out of place, Ella. Am I the only one who doesn't play FPL? Oh my god, I'm laughing because he's literally crawling between this like little gap we have between like the laundry and the bed. Anyways, yeah, I just started playing this year, but it's really fun. It takes up a lot of my time, so highly recommend getting into it. I lost my place. Okay. Antonio's so strong in set pieces, though, and Liverpool aren't as strong at the back without Van Dijk and Matip. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it's a big risk to take against Liverpool, but I'll probably do it for next week. Yeah. Top dog goes. Tuchel apparently likes rotation a lot, like Pep, so that's another reason to stay away from Chelsea players right now. Yeah, exactly. You said it perfectly. We just don't know which players he's going to play right now, so it's better to just stay away. Let's see if he picks has similar formations in the next coming games, or if he starts changing it. We have no idea what it's going to be like, honestly. I have Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he scored an assist yesterday. Yeah, I used to have him, but he was just so expensive for a defender that I took him out. But yeah, he played really well yesterday. Oh, this is a good question. Mohammed asks, who should I captain this game week? So I captained Gundogan because I was really upset about not captaining him last week. I vice captained him at the last second. So I captained him personally. I have Son as my vice captain because Tottenham are playing Brighton. Tottenham aren't in fantastic form, but I think Brighton normally do play pretty open. And even though Kane isn't there, and we know that Kane and Son have like a really great partnership, I do think that he's capable of it. So I put my vice captain in Son because I have Fernandes, but he has blanked as well the past couple of game weeks. So I haven't been happy about that. And yeah, so those are my options. I'm trying to think. I also have Calvert-Lewin versus Newcastle. Could be a good option as well. But he hasn't been scoring he hasn't scored since game week 11, I think. So I kind of just transferred him in because King got injured, but I don't think I would captain him necessarily. But if you send me who you guys have in your teams, I can give you advice about who I think would be a good captain. Yeah, imagine my luck had Kevin De Bruyne, Barty, and Kate now all injured. Yeah, I know. I feel you. I had Kevin De Bruyne and Kate, and with so many games, such a short period of time, all the players are getting injured. It's just making it so difficult to play fantasy. Oh, Vardy, not Barty. I was like, who's Barty? Yeah. My team is Grealish, Bruno, Son, Salah, Foden, Bamford, Antonio. Kane benched Antonio last game week, and he got an assist and Foden blanked. Yeah, it's a pretty solid team, though, I think. Next season, you should open your own league for your YouTube subscribers. Yeah, I definitely will have my own league next year. I just didn't know how to play this year, so I didn't want to have my own league. But next year, I definitely will, and you guys will be schooling me, I'm sure. Maybe give a shout out to the team that tops the game week. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a video for the players that made the masters of the game week or whatever it is, the top 11 players, and saying if you should buy them or hold out on them, pass on them. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. But yeah, let me know. Could Bernardo Silva be a shot with Kevin De Bruyne out? If you want a De Bruyne replacement, go for Gundogan or Foden. I think they're better shots than Silva. Gundogan is number one. We'll start going back to the bridge once fans are allowed back in the stadium. I hope so. I live in Madrid. I don't live in London. But I was planning a trip to London last fall, and obviously I couldn't go. And then I wanted to go in the spring, but now that's not really looking likely either. So I'm hoping this coming fall I'll be able to go to the bridge because I haven't been in 5 years or something like that. So I really want to go back. I begrudgingly sold my boy Werner. I'm proud of you, Dan. I think it's the right choice. I'm really sorry if he scores this week. It's not my fault. That we'll just be happy. We'll know that's because you sold him, and we'll all thank you because we want to see him scoring. So How about Madison? Yeah, he's a good shot as well. I opted for Harvey Barnes ahead of Madison just because he was a little bit cheaper. They're both pretty similar options, but I think Madison is playing really well as well. Leicester have pretty favorable fixtures. They play Leeds, who are very open, so he could be a very good shout too. Slot blanked and killed my game week. Yeah, I know. He's been blanking for the last 6, and it's been terrible. It's like so annoying. I'm just going through the rest of your comments. No way Gundogan scores again. He scored 4 in the last 5. Like, it's insane. So, I don't know. Don't count him out, you guys. Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't want to see United do well, you know, but every time that I captain or vice captain Bruno, he blanks. So, what can you do? This is like slightly off topic, but top 4 predictions. I think City's going to win the league. Then I think it's going to be Liverpool, probably Manchester United, and then Tottenham, Leicester, and Chelsea all fighting for that 4th spot. And I have no idea. I hope that Chelsea gets it, though. Yusuf goes, Captain Bruno, guys. He might score assists versus Arsenal. The thing is, Arsenal are playing well. So Manchester United versus Arsenal is a very big game. And my thing is, if a player is playing in a big game, then I don't want to captain them because we just don't know which team is going to win. Like, it could perfectly go towards Arsenal, and it could perfectly go towards Manchester United, and we just don't know which way it's going to go. So I think that is a risk, but maybe you get a good differential if people aren't captaining him. Now I'm thinking about using my captains on like more differential players. I don't know, but I'm just trying to like find ways to make up points, you know? Is De Gea a good choice for goalkeeper? I'm just going to look up like how much he costs before I tell you. So let's see. De Gea is 5.3. It depends. I don't know if he's going to keep a clean sheet versus Arsenal necessarily. I have Martinez, and he costs a little bit less, and he has a lot more points. Like, De Gea has 59, and Martinez has 93 points. And then also, if you're looking for another goalkeeper, Pope is very good. He's 5.4, so a little bit on the more expensive side. He has 95 points as well, and he had a lot versus Liverpool. Burnley played Chelsea. I don't know if we're going to really have that many shots, but Pope and Martinez are the top 2 goalkeeper choices in my opinion. Yeah, I feel ya, but he hasn't been performing recently, you know what I mean? He just hasn't. He's been blanking. So, I don't know. Yeah, I would hold off on Werner for now. Just see how he gets on under Tuchel, and then maybe bring him on in a couple of weeks. I don't know. I think this one could. Don't take a hit. If you want to make the transfer, just wait for it. Just like Sterling has not been playing that well. Probably wouldn't have him in your team. He's pretty expensive as well, but I wouldn't take a hit to get him in. Yeah, I agree, Dan. So just don't do it. Don't pick Chelsea players. Don't do it. Yeah, so let me see if I can show you my team. Okay. Can I share my screen? Oh my god, what happened? Can you see my team if I do this? Let me know very quickly, guys. Can you see my screen right now? If I go to my fantasy team. What the heck? If I stop my screen? Maybe if I play in a new window, I don't know. Okay, cool. Thanks for confirming, guys. All right, so this is my team right now. Martinez in goal. I have a back 3 of Cresswell, Stones, and Diaz. I'm thinking about transferring Diaz out for Cancelo at some point, but I just have more pressing things that I want to do first. So then I have Fernandez. He hasn't been playing well recently. Look, like it's been 4 games since he's gotten a goal, and just here he got an assist, but that's not many points. So overall he had been playing very well, and he was like pretty consistent, and then now he's kind of just like fallen off of it. I have Barnes. I think that he's a very good differential option. Son as well. I'm hoping that he will still play like well without Kane, even though he does have that like that really good chemistry with him. But I do think that Son is a very good option. Gundogan as well. Captain him, vice captain Son. And then I have Salah. And like I said, I really want to get this guy off my team because look, he was playing so good, so good, so good. And then blank. 6 games, no goals, no assists, nothing. Just playing so badly. For 12.5, I just don't find it worth it. Like I said, had Kane, but had to transfer him out because he's injured. So I went for Calvert-Lewin, and I want to try to get Bamford out of my team as well because he hasn't scored in 4 games. He did get 2 assists here, but just 3 games without any goal contributions. I guess it's pretty good for the price, but I don't know. I think I'll probably transfer him for Antonio. And I think I'll probably transfer Salah for Souček and then just have a ton of money in the bank. And yeah. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Somebody goes, I think taking Mount FPL was good until Tuchel came. It's okay, right, if you know he's going to play. But the thing is, in midfielders, I look for players that are going to consistently score goals, and Mason Mount isn't that player yet. And he's not consistently assisting goals either. So that's why I wouldn't have him in my team. A little off topic, but are you from Spain? No, I'm from New York. I'm American. I'm from the US, but my husband's Spanish, so that's why we live here. Dan Harding goes, I have Ederson, but I don't know if that's a wasted spot for the 3 Man City players. Absolutely. Try to get Ederson out of your team. I think like if you go for Pope or Martinez, you're just as good like off. You're just as well off, and then you can get like Gundogan, 2 defenders, or you can like get Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne when he's fit. But I think that Ederson is taking up a spot because there's other goalkeepers that are still performing well and are pretty cheap, and then you can get other City players in. Oh my God, that's nuts. Can't believe you're watching me so late, but thank you so much for tuning in. Top Dog asks, who do you think are the best differential picks for the coming game week? I have Harvey Barnes, who I think is a pretty good differential. I have Gundogan, who was a differential, and now he's not becoming a differential as much. But it's really hard because I feel like the high-scoring players like Vardy, Kane, Kevin De Bruyne, they're all out. And then you have other players who aren't even like performing well, like Mohamed Salah, who normally I would be very happy to have in my team. So yeah, also Souček is a really good differential, but he's getting owned by a lot of players as well. Saka could be good. Lacazette has looked a little bit better. He doesn't have very high ownership. Any Chelsea player could be a differential, but it's just like a crapshoot, you know. You just don't know which one's going to play and if they're going to score. But if they start playing well, like under their first like proper training session with Tuchel, it could be a good option. But I just feel it's so risky right now, so risky. Yeah, Sid, a couple of people asked this, and the consensus in the group was Antonio over Watkins. Yeah, Pope could be a good option if Chelsea have a lot of shots on target. But I've had Martinez since like the early game, and he's just like one of the most consistently good performing keepers. So all right, guys. Well, the questions have started to slow down. I think I've gotten to a lot of them. Can't believe I've just been talking for almost 45 minutes. Like, that's insane. But thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. If you have any more questions, just at me on Twitter, and I'll try to answer them before the window closes. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. If you like this video, please drop it a like because it does a world of good for me. And if you aren't subscribed to my channel, please do so as well because that also helps me out a lot. So thank you so much. And until next time, I'm out.